Oh baby, I think I'm gonna marry you, marry you. Okay, we're live, we're live. So, we are facing our fears today. Imagine you were in front of your classroom about to deliver a speech, about to present a debate, or you're on stage, you're about to sing, and you are nervous. You got a stage fright. Yeah. So I noticed for the couple doing live sessions, I have very nervous head and I'm facing my fear. If you're an upcoming YouTuber or published speaker, or you just found yourself in a new group at school, at work, but you have to talk to people, this could be for you. Okay. So in life, there are so many times that we have to do something that scares us. For many people, when they are scared, they freeze. And that is generally or basically what stage fright is about. Like that singer that is on the stage for the first time and you have 1,000 people in the audience listening to you and you're like, for me as a singer, I never had stage fright because my mom prepared me from a very tender age of 7, where she told me that anytime I stood in front of the audience in church or the congregation, I should just look above their heads. And the older I became, I understood why that technique worked because a lot of times people are focused on your performance, not the message of the song you're carrying. And then you feel they are judging you. Or sometimes they admire you. There's that friendly face in the audience and you get carried away and you get distracted. Okay. So as I got older, I got better at singing. It was easier to engage with the audience while I sang, give a smile to that straight face or, just overlook that person that was judging me. And it was true also for a friend of ours who almost messed up our literary day when we were in high school. She was singing and someone said, why were you nervous? And she said, no, my dad was making funny faces at me, you know. So it's easier to sing on stage because you tend to bury yourself in the music as the background, like you put yourself in the song, in the melody, you can close your eyes and you sing. For me, singing is not a problem. But when I became a YouTuber, I noticed that every time I came in front of the camera, I was nervous. And I'm not the only person who has that problem. I saw that with this lady who publishes YouTube content, 10 ways to wear it, and she would have that funny laugh moment because she was also nervous, But with time, I kept following her and I noticed, the little cackles or laughter or giggles began to reduce because now you get used to what you're doing. And I decided to ask myself exactly why am I afraid of talking? Because literally there is nobody in front of me, like in this room right now. It's just myself and my camera. And the first thing that makes us afraid on stage or in front of the camera is the fear of being judged. You want to be heard, but beyond being heard or being seen, you do not judge. You are thinking in your mind, am I making sense? or are they understanding me? Can they hear me? Or what are they thinking? A lot of times some of us even have problems with our body image. We don't feel beautiful enough. Some of us feel fat enough, too fat or too thin, or maybe not too pretty. And when we're in front of the camera, literally you're looking at a reflection of your face. So it's kind of scary, it's kind of scary rather to be presenting what you're presenting or delivering your content and still imagining what is going on behind the camera, literally in the virtual world, you know. So I noticed that and I decided I'm going to stop doing that. And what I did was I always start with a deep breath. Okay. I took down some notes and I'm going to be going through my notes in case you're watching me. I'm just going through my notes. And another thing that makes us scared or nervous in front of the camera is we're trying to connect. For example, I noticed when I'm going live or I'm live on my YouTube channel, I want people to engage. And so I tend to focus on the numbers at the top of the screen, how many people have stopped by, if the numbers are going up or coming down, how many people are liking. And you pay focus on that. You put your focus on that, and then you lose focus on what you're doing. It's kind of nerve-wracking also when the numbers are fluctuating and you think probably I'm not making sense. So that's why people are not staying online, and you're doubting how much do I know about a certain topic that you bring online. For example, when I talked about migration, I kept repeating how I'm not a professional, I'm not a migration lawyer, I'm not a migration officer, and I'm not. Whereas the person who had asked me that question was not necessarily asking for my professional capabilities. They had wanted to just know my experience, in that aspect of migration because I'm a migrant. And so I've been trying to read more, to study more, and a lot of people come on YouTube, they want to engage with you based on your personal experience. They just want to, they don't need you to have the professional skills, but if you have experienced it, if you have gone through it, like what I'm talking about right now, stage fright or camera fright, like I titled this episode, people just want to know, what do you feel? What do you think is happening? Why do you have that problem? And so that is one thing that I'm trying to work on, to say, if I don't know much about the topic, then I would rather not dabble into it. Or if you're very passionate about it, then just speak as briefly as you can about it. That is what you know about it. For example, I consume a lot of fashion hauls, fashion content on YouTube. And it's amazing to see that a lot of people repeat the knowledge that they've seen from other videos. It's not that they've necessarily made research. Very few fashion content creators um, go and research exactly what they're talking about. Sorry, I'm holding my camera because it's scratching me on my neck. So, like I'm saying, but then they just do a little bit, or some will just come simply and do fashion hauls, tell us the price of the clothes, wear it and show us what it fits, give you the little information that they can. And yeah, they are done with their content. So um, that has been my motto, that from henceforth, I would extensively research as much as I can. But the theme of making Chit Chat with the African in Ecuador actually has been to just talk to people and engage in the comment section of my video content. But I decided for this month, and through the month of June, I want to do live videos because I want to share my experiences as a YouTuber, my fears, the mistakes I've made, so I want to go live and probably improve on my public speech because it's still the same fright that one experiences on stage that you feel in front of the camera, because there are people who will be watching. Trust me, there are people watching somewhere or people who will watch later on. So what are the ideas that have come up with to overcome stage fright? The first thing I notice is that when you start a live video, people are not on except if you have announced it previously. So there are people who were waiting and they know that you'll be coming on live. Now, if you're a new content creator, probably you not want to do that so that you don't feel the pressure of thinking how many people are waiting, how many people are watching. I see a lot of successful YouTubers do that because they already have a huge following. And so they would pre-announce that they will be going live at a certain time, and there will be that 5 people waiting out of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Maybe there'll be 5 people waiting or 3 people waiting. In fact, nobody waiting even YouTube, like, to re-notify you when the person goes live. So for me, because I'm still trying to gain confidence in front of the camera, I've decided that I'm not going to announce beforehand. I'll just come live. That way it lessens the pressure. Secondly, I have decided to practice positive thinking. If you are a younger generation of a Gen Z, you know that these days a lot of people work with positive affirmations. I was going through the scriptures this morning where the Bible says we should dwell on whatever positive things of positive report, of virtue, so before coming in front of the camera, I like to surround my mind with positive thoughts that I can do it, that I'm worthy, that I'm good enough, you know, to sit here, and that my audience are also nice people. They are not mean people. And I'm also learning not to be affected by the numbers I see on the screen. It's just the same way with a recorded video. As you get better, you'll have more views, maybe more likes, with time. And so if you're passionate like I am, the number of views you get or don't get does not affect you in your job, because YouTube might be a work for you, or it might be a place of creativity. And so you do not allow people to affect you. Of course, you want to grow, and you want that views to tell you that you are growing. You want those comments to tell you that you did well in this session or you didn't do well. Like in my case, I don't have a problem if you tell me something negative. I had someone once tell me, no, the audio is very poor. I couldn't hear you. And it had helped me to fix my audio. So outside after that, I also think getting a friend to watch you on the other side is a good thing. Like having it at the back of your mind that somebody who that likes you, that has your back, is watching you, also helps. For example, last week, my siblings were with me online, and just knowing that they were watching with my nieces, was quite encouraging to say, okay, there's a familiar face in the virtual audience. Okay. And another thing is to paint a positive space in your head. For me, like I started with this video, I just told myself I'm going to be imagining myself doing this live as if I were giving or presenting a TED talk. When you're presenting a TED talk, it means that you have mastered your emotions to a certain level where the number of the crowd or the reaction of the crowd does not affect you. You are just yourself and the tiny monitor in your hand and the screen. So that is my headspace from where I talk, that I'm in front of a crowd giving them a TED talk, or I just imagine myself that I am singing And so I soak myself in the theme or the topic that I'm talking about. And the audience is just following me or listening to my message, not necessarily looking at my face. Okay. So this is the process so far, this that I'm going through. I've been thinking about this topic for the whole week. Basically, I have talked about it from all angles. Thought about it from, you know, as a singer, as a student, or even as a like someone in the corporate world where you have to give a presentation. You don't look at people when you're making a presentation. You're just in front of the monitor, you and the projector, and whatever people are looking, they're not necessarily looking at your outfit or your hairstyle or whatever. It's part of the package, but the customer or the people listening are actually focused on the message you're putting on the board, you know. So that is the mindset that I am going to be practicing when I'm creating content, when I'm coming live. And next week, I hope to bring you another topic on what YouTube has actually discovered from their researches on what is it that draws people to your channel. Authenticity, experience, your struggles. People are not necessarily on your channel to look at how beautiful or how fluent or eloquent you are. They just want to have that human connection. And the less vulnerable we are, the better we are at expressing the better we are at telling our stories with authenticity. So this was good practice. I think I didn't stutter much. I think I didn't stutter much and I'm less nervous. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me on my journey as I become better at being a content creator, do please subscribe. And if you followed me, I just see there's one person that has been following from the beginning and left me a like. Thank you very much for that. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this live episode of Chit Chat. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Do have a great one.